You just said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one.
All right. So Benjamin Netanyahu, the Beepster, went on with Brett Baier to spread a little of that old Hasbara love that he's known for.
People who chant death to America, try to assassinate President Trump twice, killed 241 of your Marines in Beirut, killed and injured thousands of American soldiers in Afghanistan and Iraq, try to bomb a restaurant in Washington, D.C., chant death to America, burn the American flag. Do you want these people to have nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them to your cities? Of course not.
Yeah.
So we're defending ourselves, but we're also defending the world.
I want to talk about the nuclear threat, and I want to talk about President Trump. You just said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one. He's a decisive leader. He never took the path that others took to try to bargain with them in a way that is weak, giving them basically a pathway to enrich uranium, which means a pathway to the bomb, padding it with billions and billions of dollars. He took up this fake agreement and basically tore it up. He killed Qasem Soleimani. He said, made it very clear, including now, you cannot have a nuclear weapon, which means you cannot enrich. He's been very forceful. So for them, he's enemy number one.
Yeah.
Look, they also tried to kill me, but I'm his junior partner.
When did
they
you
understand that President Trump is a great threat to Iran's plans to weaponize nuclear weapons and use them? American pilots are shooting down drones that are headed towards Israel, as do our pilots. American THAAD missile batteries are helping defend Tel Aviv and greater Tel Aviv area. American Aegis ships are in the Mediterranean. That's all a decision by President Trump, which I deeply appreciate. Again, his decisions on what to do at any given time is the president's decision. I trust his judgment completely.
And then, according to people who were actually there in the studio, immediately after the cameras went off, Brett said, okay, so no one's going to see that tape. Netanyahu said, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are a lot of videos going around now in light of recent events of Netanyahu going back to 1982 saying this. I mean, it's just an incredible string of claims there. No, the Iraqis attacked the Americans, right? They're responsible, not Israel, for dragging us into that war, for manipulating us into that war like they're manipulating us into this with Iran now. And if you look at this very cartoonish presentation of the Iranian state, this is really what they want. They want Americans' understanding of the world to basically be like the G.I. Joe cartoon. Like the rest of the world is Cobra, right? Just right. These foul people with irrationally evil motives who are just obsessed with, yes, now we can finally destroy the Americans. That's not the way the world actually works. The only people who are really like that are us. Most people just kind of want to live their lives, run their country, do their thing. I'm not saying every government and every country is a utopian paradise, but for the most part, they just want to run it their way. What we think about how they run it, it's really irrelevant. It's really irrelevant. You can't out of one side of your mouth say, well, they hate us for our freedom, they should leave us alone, which is obviously nonsense anyway, and then hate people for the way their societies are arranged. So so if it's not that, then, and you're saying they're a real threat to us, demonstrate that. But what, you think Iran's gonna get a navy and come over here and do something to the United States? Like, really? In what world would something like that happen? How on earth would they do that? Whatever you think of Iran, it's irrelevant. They pose absolutely no threat to us. In regards to what he's saying about the assassinations, yeah, listen, Keaton did an excellent piece yesterday showing This is going back to a Nation article. There's a lot of evidence, especially in light of what's happening now, that yeah, Trump did collude with a country in 2016. It wasn't Russia. It was Israel.
Yeah.
The Mueller report found that, but they did not include it in the final report for reasons I'm sure you can guess. Did they try to assassinate him? Did anyone try to assassinate him? We've talked about this a lot. Trump is a very vengeful guy, right? Anyone would admit that, whether you're a fan or not a fan. Anyone would admit that. This guy went after every law firm that gave him any kind of trouble when he was out of office, right? It's like the first order of business for him to go after all these law firms. This guy didn't walk right into the Oval Office and turn the FBI and the CIA upside down to find out what happened with that assassination. The names of the supposed assassins and attempted assassins are not well known to people. And by saying that, I'm not saying you can't look it up. I'm saying most people don't know the names off the tops of their heads. That's weird with attempted assassins. Mark David Chapman, Hinckley, we all know these names. This almost like really got pushed off the front page. You didn't have a lot of those big articles about all the details of the lives of these gunmen and assassins and who they were. I'm sorry. If that doesn't look like an op, what would look like an op? Harris was not going to be able to sell this agenda to the people most likely to resist it, which is Trump's base. By installing Trump, they neutralized resistance from the people most likely to resist. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it until proven otherwise.
Yeah, can I just add one thing before we move on? The other thing that I think is really puzzling about this is that Netanyahu did a whole lot of speaking for Donald Trump there. He's a great friend to Israel. He has backed us up, and we know who tried to kill him. Like he's putting a whole lot of words in the mouth of a guy who is nothing if not a fucking big mouth. Yeah. So where is Donald Trump these past few days? He made an 8-minute speech at his birthday parade, which was a total disaster, by the way. Horrible crowds, horrible weather. It was a nightmare.
A lot of very smart people are saying he'll never recover from that. It was such an embarrassment.
Besides that, nobody's seen him. He's given phone interviews to print publications, to Dana Bash, right, who then goes and relays what he says. This guy's been on camera almost every single day, if not every single day, since Inauguration Day. And when this shit breaks out, he's nowhere to be seen.
Right.
What is that about? Where is this guy? What does he have to say? Is he the president of the goddamn United States or not? All of a sudden, he lets Bibi talk for him. This is fucked. This is completely fucked. Where is this man? Best case scenario, okay, is that he knows that these motherfuckers, these Israelis, have destroyed his presidency and his legacy, and he does not know what to do about it. That's the best interpretation of this. That's the most charitable interpretation, is that he's ashamed of what's going on and he doesn't know what to do. That's no excuse. You're the president. We're on the doorstep of an apocalyptic war. We haven't heard from you in days, aside from an 8-minute speech at your failed birthday parade. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So this is Wally Rashid talking about, this is his interpretation of what would happen if Iran actually assassinated Trump.
Who is now publicly stating that Iran is trying to assassinate President Trump.
Just said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one. He's a decisive leader. They also tried to kill me, but I'm his junior partner.
When did
they
you
understand that President Trump is a great
he's
threat
the junior
to Iran's
partner.
plans to weaponize nuclear weapons and use them.
Listen to me very clearly when I say this. The only country that would benefit from Iran assassinating Donald Trump would be Israel. Unless Iran wants to legitimately get nuked, which the United States would consider, there is no geopolitical benefit for Iran to assassinate President Trump. Iran knows very well that assassinating President Trump is a death wish. They would never do that. Only foreign country that has the resources and capabilities to assassinate President Trump and then blame it on somebody else is Israel. No other country on earth would dare assassinate a sitting US president. Only country that would benefit from the assassination of Donald Trump is Israel, because that would lead to Israel's greatest enemy being eliminated. If, God forbid, something were to happen on US soil, Israel should be considered the #1 suspect.
Okay, but I don't think Israel really wants to assassinate him. I think Israel said, hey, you know what? Harris couldn't sell ice water in hell, but this guy, he could sell those Walmart steaks. What else could he sell?
Yeah.
Hey, steaks, Zionism, same thing.
Look at the
Same
CGI
thing.
we got here. Look
Yeah,
what a
it's-
high-end production house
High-
we got here.
This is we're working with Google Veo 3 to do that.
Yeah, right.
to do that. Aren't you impressed with those high-end graphics? Yeah. You've been had, folks. You've been had. And I must say, it's very heartening to see so many former Trump supporters coming to that conclusion. I would say more than not. I'm seeing very few people who are not pissed off who are defending Trump right now. Very few of his
Dave
former
Smith today said he
supporters.
should be impeached and removed. I mean, good on him.
Yep.
Good on him.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Rachel, now we know for sure it was Mossad that did it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. When will Bibi try to link the Minnesota shooter to Iran? Yes. Didn't Bibi actually gift Trump a gold pager? How wild is that? Yeah, that's what they call a warning. That's what they call a warning. Miriam gave him another warning, a 15-inch strap-on.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Don't worry, Miriam. You won't have to use that on me.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's the G7, but like, where are you? I'm sorry. This is an emergency. Well, you can't find a camera. You can't give an address. Like, it's very bizarre. It's very, very bizarre. We need to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah, well, he did give some comments at the G7 about how insulted Putin is, that it's not the G8 anymore.
Is that what did he do that?
He'll talk to me, but he's very insulted because it's not the G8 anymore, and he's very, very insulted.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of crazy how in this kind of moment, he's letting Netanyahu do the talking for him. I mean, that really tells you who is in control of this. That tells you who's running things, right? We saw that Axios report that came out where the Israelis claimed that, no, Trump had their back all along. He was just acting like there was tension to lull Iran into a false sense of security and probably to save political face, maybe in the hopes they could work something out, buy himself some time. But according to that reporting, the Israelis felt like he had their back all the way, and that any talk of tension with them was for show. Now, the Americans denied that, and it's hard to tell who the bigger liar is because both the Israelis and the U.S. are pretty big fucking liars. But the facts seem to be on Israel's side of that one. They seem to be telling the truth in that scenario because now we are on, day 4 of bombings, and we still have not heard from the president. We haven't heard from the president of the United States. The president hasn't given an address on this after all this time. I'm sorry. That's something that's fucked. That's fucked. Not good.
Well, yeah. No, I think you're right that he realizes this completely fucks him, his presidency, his legacy. Talking about a man who's basically in it to be adored and worshipped, and he knows that ship has sailed now. He's going to leave office and hey, all kidding aside, he might not leave office on his feet, frankly, with the people that he's been getting in bed with and the way that they like to play. But if he does, he will probably go down in history as perhaps the most despised president of all time, because I mean the libs are pretty universal in hating him, and now from everything I'm seeing, he lost his base.
Come see us on tour in Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.